Alright, this is going to only happen once. There's no repeat of this. The Ory Mee story on the Mees and sports. Doesn't get any better than that. So, just out of curiosity, because I am curious, how did the Mees, like historically, find their way to Falconer, Kennedy, Levant area? Do you know what drew them here?
Greta.
Oh, they lived down Wheelock Road for a while.
Yeah.
The other Mees, they came earlier.
Yeah. So on Mee Road, they ended up
Road,
with.
they came in the early 1800s
Right.
to this area.
Phoebe is the historian.
So Phoebe is the historian in our family.
Hey, what, Phoebe? Why don't you come right here for a second? Because we need a little background. Background.
Greta's our older sister.
Okay.
All right, Phoebe.
Stand right here
Between us.
between, because so the camera will get you here.
Yeah.
And now give the background. In the beginning, they came across from someplace to come here.
Yes. The actual Mee family all came from England around the early 1800s. Some of the ones from my mother's side and dad's came 1700s. They were in the New York State or Connecticut area, and they all sort of migrated here for the things that were here. It was either lumber or it was oil. It was one of the great grandfathers got started in oil, but you know, they all migrated back to this area. And I know it was in high school that Mom and Dad actually met, and started their family at that time.
Mom and Dad being?
Betty McCall Mee, who's her dad was a justice of the peace and acted for the Legion. He was in the World War II here in Falconer. Her mother, they originally, her father was the oil man as they started out in Bridgeport, came back to Falconer, moved back to Falconer because some of that family was here. So, Betty L. Mee, McCall Mee, and Warren Charles Mee.
And as part of that, we have over there in what it looks like an Apple's farm box, courtesy of Randy Anderson and the Talk Sports Hall of Fame, is a bunch of stuff on Warren Mee.
Yes.
That came from you guys?
I don't know if that came from him. Dad was extremely active in sports all the way through high school. At that time, you could stay an extra year. He got permission from his mom to stay an extra year in high school so he could play sports. Some of this,
The original red shirt.
Yeah, and all of the semi-pro teams here. He went to Kansas City. Is it Kansas City where they
went to Wichita. They won the Legion tournament.
Yeah.
So they got on a train and their team went to Wichita, played there, okay, and then took a train back.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that Dad would tell us was we couldn't go swimming when it was over 100 until after we played baseball that day. Then we could go swimming.
Yeah.
So it was like that. But part of the Mees ended up on Mee Road, so there's 2 dairy farms there. And, our grandfather, our grandfather ended up there with the Mee farm, and then our dad, Warren, and his brother Ralph ended up going to farm together, and they played here at Jamestown with the Steel Petition Bombers for a bunch of years.
I forgot that those items that are in the box are from Ralph.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
On Warren.
Yeah.
And so Ralph, I interviewed him. For those that are interested in that, there's a YouTube interview with Ralph Mee. And the reason for that was he was doing a lot of stuff on Jamestown professional baseball.
Yeah.
And Ralph was a pitcher on the 1939 Jamestown Pirates, which was our first team.
Yes.
So it was kind of fun for me to talk to him because in the beginning was Ralph as a pitcher for that team. And that would have been a brother. What other siblings did Warren and Ralph have?
They had one sister, Gretchen.
Okay.
And she relocated to Oakfield, New York.
Yeah.
So they were there for quite a while. So as far as going back to like Ralph and Dad, it's like there's, Dad's got certificates, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in a row. He was on New York State All-Star team for, you know, the league they were playing on with the Bombers. I'm not sure, like you said, maybe one of the best years they had, they were like 63-5 or something, or 63-9, I forget what it was. Something like that.
And that was all, it was around early 40s.
Yep.
So did they play?
So when my brother Terry and I were here, we both played here. You know, and Jamestown would have their home games here when we were at Falconer, so we'd come up and play our home games here at the park, which was kind of cool. But when we were 8 or 9 and our dad was playing and Ralph was playing for the Bombers, we'd come up here and we'd be the ball boys running around here getting all the foul balls. We got 50 cents, you know, for running down all the balls all night. Well, one game, my brother and I thought it would be really cool to see how high we could throw it and catch it. It was really great till we really let one go, and then it came down and we had no idea where it went in the grass. And then we were all mad because we lost our 50 cents and we worked all night to get it. Give me a break.
Well, Ory, on behalf of the Jamestown Community Baseball Ownership Group, would you do the same thing now? And as Randy Sweeney right there, who's our treasurer, says, there goes another $10.
Yeah, it's a little different. Back then the balls were probably, you know, $1 or $2, and like today it's a whole different story. So yeah.
So if any of you young kids want to make an extra $1 or $2, you know,
Okay.
we'll double the 50 cents.
Yeah.
So talk about, we have Warren and Betty, and then the next layer is you, Ory, Gretchen.
Greta.
Yep. Yep.
Then there was a brother Terry.
Terry, and then Larry.
And then there was Ory.
Yeah.
Then there was me, Phoebe.
There's Phoebe, and
Then there's Larry. And
and
then there was Al.
we lost our brother Terry, and we lost our brother Al.
So if I were interviewing Betty right now, and Sue Siemens said you missed an opportunity not to interview her. Sue says her best, by the way. She was intimately involved in making sure this all became a reality.
Okay.
So she said if you would interview her, ask Ory who Betty's favorite was. Answer that one, buddy.
Which day was it? Yeah. Whatever it had just happened at the time. Yeah.
No, but it was sometimes if you said, "Hey, Mom, what can we do?" It's like, "You really want me to show you something to do?" So Terry and I one day we went and got a pair of scissors. Okay, gave each of us a pair of scissors. We had quite a few fruit trees out there. So she said, "How about if you go around each fruit tree and cut all the grass around the fruit tree?" We didn't go back and ask too many more times. What can we do?
Yeah. Now was she? We realized the family was really sports oriented. Did she encourage that, or was that something you'd say that was Warren's thing?
Well, Dad was on the road a lot, and he was working a lot. So for us to get the things, Mom was the one. You know, she'd be taking us here, taking us there. You know, as we were older. Even when Larry and Ellen were here, same thing. You know, without her, we'd never been the athletes we were.
She was extremely athletic also. She played basketball in high school. She was like ping pong champion. She was tennis champion. She was life-saving director at Bear Lake for swimming. She managed the water program. She was in all those sports. So
she's got one of those pictures way back in the paper of her with how long was the muscle lunge?
I think she was 14.
14, and she had a muscle lunge. It was like
35.
35? 45? I can't remember what it was.
Big.
But it was big. I mean, she was holding it like this, and it was almost to the
14
ground.
years old. She thought she was pretty big stuff.
That was pretty good.
Talk to me a little bit about Betty's family. I mean, did they have one of them have the newsstand?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a newsstand. That was Cedric. It was worked there, and like Pat.
His dad.
This young lady, Phoebe, already mentioned, ran a newsstand there, and he was a justice of the peace for you know, down at Ellicott. You know, he did a lot of things there. He was a big Yankees guy, but he's got a little pin in a box. It said he ran a 10.2 in 1911 or 1912 for a 100-yard dash on a cinder track. For then, it was pretty good. But he'd never talk about himself. And the other thing that he did that we finally, Terry and I, kind of got out of him is they started the New York Mets, right? And they wanted to get a logo for the New York Mets. Well, he came in second. He didn't put the stitches on the baseball, and that's the one that won, you know, the logo for the New York Mets. So he got season tickets, I think, I don't know if it was for a year or for 5 years to all the New York Mets games. But he would never talk about it because he came in second. Okay? And it was like...
Have you ever seen it? Have you seen the
logo? Oh yeah. I mean, you look at the same logos today. So it's like, okay, but that was way back in the 60s. Yeah. So his was exactly the same without the stitchings that the guy put on like for a baseball.
Wow. As a Mets fan, I just, wow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then you would have had a problem with them.
Yeah, you can't certainly be both.
Phoebe had to, what did you do for her?
It's like, this, obviously, Grandpa McCall, the one that we started talking about, he went to Colgate University.
Yep.
And he played football and he played baseball there. And that was during when the ramped up for World War II. So he left before he graduated to be a Marine in World War II. So but you never heard about these things unless you did the research.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the one that's done the research, so that's why she knows most of the finer
But
things of us.
he was always a diehard Yankee fan. Mulder was a diehard Yankee fan. And all the way, I mean, through the years, it was like, I'd have to go on the internet. She wanted the field, she wanted the program, she wanted the roster, she wanted the active roster, she wanted the injury report, she wanted the backup for the field, the players on the depth chart. She had to have the depth chart.
This is great.
She wanted a magazine that had all of the updates on what the team was doing and who they were trading and oh yeah.
So yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a
You
big
came
deal.
and Grandpa, if they were at home or as soon as they were in the apartment, and they had, you know, something other than the 3 stations, all of a sudden we would lose him.
Yeah.
Well, he'd go to the back room so he would be away from the kids and he could watch the Yankees.
Yeah.
That was always a big thing.
Anybody remember the station? Anybody remember the station? Like that was the Yankees? WR?
Was it?
Yeah, that's right. 3 stations, Mets, Yankees, and Saturday game. That was it. So, but you know, the Mee family, and part of what we want to talk about is just the sports legacy. My God, I mean, as I was growing up, all you read about was Falconer and the Mees, and you know that. So, did you kind of self-support yourself in a sense, family tradition, where was there a tutoring system? It's like that. You're breeding sports athletes, superstars.
Dad would bring home bats. The broken bats that they would get at the park because, you know, obviously we grew up on a farm. There was not, you know, tons of extra cash around. He would bring home the broken bats and there he'd put screws through the handles. So all the Mee kids were learning to play baseball with these 36-inch bats with screws in them. And it was like, choke up no more.
But what we usually hit was we walked from the house to the barn and you picked up a stone on the way, flipped it up and hit it with a bat. So you found out all your wooden bats out to the end, rather than have a wooden bat, part of the bottom of it would be gone from where you hit the stones. So yeah, it consistently, you had a bat, but the bottom of it, you know, if you got a new one, it's like, okay, and then it's like, who could hit it? My brother Terry and I, like, who could hit it further, you know? So it was like one of the things that, okay, we did that one. The other thing that really helped us with with Terry and I when we were young, there was a guy named Gail Nutt. Upstairs in the barn, Dad put a basket at one end and a basket at the other end of the front part of the barn, so we had a basketball court, and we could play full court. Probably wasn't a whole lot longer than the tent here, but we'd play every night, basically, when we were like 5th, 6th grade, and all the kids would come from around the area, kind of, mostly from Falconer to do it, and for a few years I think it really helped. But Gail would help make sure that Terry and I were in a game. You know, we didn't have to go sit on the bench, and as we got older, you know, then we got better to play. Now, we went to play, what we were doing, we were gathering sap for maple syrup. Terry and I were one time, even went back when Larry was there in Allen, and the most kids I ever counted at the barn sitting and wait to play was 57. There's 10 kids playing and there's 47 kids sitting around the outside. Okay, usually it was only like 20 to 25 kids there. So you know what you learn? You learn to win because winners stayed and losers left. And if there's 25 guys there, how many games are you going to sit out? So some guys would come up and they'd stay, and if they lost the first game, they'd turn around and go home. Because it's like, all right, I'm sitting for the next hour and a half, you know. So, but that was always a huge thing for evenings. If we practiced on the, back then it was a junior high team, 7, 8, and 9. If we played on those, we get done with practice, come home, grab a quick supper, go to the barn and play basketball somewhere. So that helped. Baseball, and my mom took us to Kennedy all the time. I think even Larry was playing and Alan was playing. You guys still went to Kennedy, didn't you, Larry? You know, take us down there for the Little League for 9 to 12, so, you know, that was always a good thing. My brother Terry and I, when we were there, can we play wiffle ball? It's like, sure. Okay. Around the side of the house, put a home plate there, and threw the wiffle ball at the side of the house. You know, after a while, it's like ding, 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 and she came out and took a little look at the side of the house this way, and was looking at all the dents, and that didn't go over too big. When Dad got home, he says, well, there's a whole lot of dents in there now. You might as well keep doing it. So, but yeah, Dad even built a baseball field and cow pasture for us. Put up a fence, put up a backstop, you know, put it out, put the shape in there because we got kind of too big for just a wiffle ball there. So then we could go out and actually play some baseball out there. But once we got by the wiffle ball stage, then we put a tennis ball with a broom handle. You know, just kept trying to improve, get better.
What kind of leagues did you have? I mean, this all sounds like sort of intramural family affairs with other neighbors. At some point, you had to branch out. Was there Kennedy Little League, Falconer Little League? What was the structure?
Yeah, we played for the Kennedy Little League. It was age 9 to 12, so Dad ended up making right next to the Kennedy Elementary School. Had right there, we had our diamond right there to play on, and when we got Dad, we need a home run fence out there. So he got snow fence and put snow fence around there. But yeah, we play, you know, Faulkner, Ellington, Frewsburg, you know, the same thing. You'd go around and play all the local ones there. Larry, were they still playing there when you? Yeah, still playing Little League there. So, yep, Little League you played first, then you played Babe Ruth, and they put that field in the other corner. Then we played Legion. And Rod Drake played with us back there for, you know, several years. And then we played, you know, high school baseball. And, you know, we were on the varsity as freshmen. And Tony Franchina, some guys might have heard of him. You know, he was kind of our on-field coach when I was playing as a freshman, sophomore, and it was Coach Lindholm, but Tony was the guy that really, had a great feel for the game and gave us a lot of suggestions and stuff, so that was good.
And through that, I mean, I know you got all of these siblings, and I know soon the game hopefully is going to be over victorious for us, and Grady will come out and join us. If you had to highlight some of the successes of the various Mee children, by the way, Sue gave me a whole background. Sue Siemens, she knows you fairly well. So, just for the audience, kind of go through some of the successes, perhaps, or at least Kurt.
Battery went out here. Is that okay?
It's okay, yeah. I got it.
Now is when you can tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, no.
Oh, nothing's going to be on TV now? Oh, okay. Well, football was always, a great sport with it. And, Salamanca was our team that we were always trying to get past. And
Coach Sanfilippo.
yes, you named it. So, we kind of finished second to him. And in basketball, we played in the Lakeshore League, and we had trouble beating Jamestown consistently, but we'd be right behind them, like second with that. In baseball, we were in sectional finals in baseball, like I said, with Tony playing shortstop and us playing peripheral places. And I was kidding my family the other night. We used to go to Gowanda, and they'd play at the facility down there, and they used to say, hey, it's going to be a little different. You're going to have a chatterbox there tonight. And the kids would look at it and say, what's a chatterbox? Hey, here comes a man. It's a pitcher with his right hand. He's throwing a fastball. It's on the outside corner. It's strike one, but here comes the next pitch. Nope, it's back to pitcher. Okay, this one's not. And the guy never stopped. Okay, so the first time we went down there to play a sectional game, here the guy is going a mile a minute, and it's like, oh, that's what a chatterbox is? So it was kind of fun, but
That was a very good invitation.
So anyway, I did that for a couple minutes the other night, or for maybe a minute the other night, and all the grandkids were laughing about it. So it was a little different, but the things you remember is like Steve Garvey playing, with guys like him, even though I didn't play with him, a little behind me, but playing with Rod and the guys that we played with that were my age that were playing. And now the thing that was fun was to come back and be able to watch, Larry and Alan do some playing when they were going. And then watch our son, my son Ryan back there was a basketball player at the University of Rochester. They were in the Division III, but they were in the Final Four twice out of his 4 years there. And the other year they were 25-1 or 25-4. I think the 2 years they didn't make the Final Four. And watching our son Corey play at the University of Notre Dame as a baseball player out there. And then now, it was kind of tough in a lot of ways, because if we drove to ND from Rochester, it was like between 10 and 11 hours one way. So as Pat and I finished, because I was coaching the high school baseball team, we'd jump in a car like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, drive all night, get there, take them to breakfast, and watch 2 baseball games, go to bed. On Saturday, Sunday morning, watch them, do the same thing Sunday, drive all night, Sunday night, get back home, take a shower, go to work.
Yeah.
And then have another baseball game Monday night with my high school team. But it was fun. And our daughter Eileen, who was there, where is she? She's over here. She played at Notre Dame with the softball team for her freshman year out there, so it was fun being able to do that. And then we've always watched, like, she had twin sons that played soccer, or big soccer players in the Canton, Michigan area. The 2 ladies over here, Riley's sitting down in McKenna. They were both soccer players in the fall, basketball players in the winter, and pole vaulters in the spring. So it's kind of carried on for them. and with, you know, it's kind of fun to see. Anna's standing over here, and she's a soccer player, you know, Eileen's daughter. So the grandkids, we have had a great time being able to watch them play.
And then there's Grady.
And now there's this guy out here that's playing. It's Grady. That's not. He's not too bad. So you know, we're trying to get him to be pretty good. So, but no, his dad just finished. Corey just finished his 30th year coaching Division I baseball. So he's been around that for a while.
Well, talk to me. We're out here and we're watching Grady and me, and there's all these Mees intimidating him, as you understand. What is the reaction? My gosh, I mean, he really is leading, one of the leaders, if not the leader, leading hitter with the Tarp Skunks at this point, seemingly flawless fielder. What's your sense of all this?
Well, it's interesting because we try to tell Grady the same thing we told Corey. We drove to Dayton, Ohio to see a game, right? So he's starting at third base. Was it the first inning? First or second inning, he makes an error, okay? Next inning, he's on a bench. He doesn't play for the next 3 games. Doesn't play the second game that day, doesn't play the 2 games the next day, and it's like, Corey, we came to see you. Don't worry about it. Susan, forget about putting all the makeup on. Corey just wants to see you. So it's like, no, stop that. Get over here. He's going to get on the bus in 2 seconds and go. So, but the biggest thing is understanding it. It's like trying to tell your players, like I coach Corey in high school for baseball at the varsity level. I coached him basketball, was the JV level. And Ryan, I coached at Hilton High School, coached both Ryan in baseball and basketball, and try to get them to understand, hey, concentrate on it. I remember both of them happening when fans on the opposing team start cheering against you. I said, must be that you're pretty good at that point, you know. Must be at that point, you know, you're starting to get better, but you want to do it so every single team you ever play is cheering against not just the team, but cheering against you individually. That means you're getting better. So it's like Grady, hey, don't worry if you don't play that day. We came to see you, you know, but hey, work as hard as you can. Every day you're going to try to play at your best level, and when you get done, did you have fun, and did you play the best you could play?
What's he telling you about the Tarp Skunks here? I'm curious myself. Is he how things are going, how the team's going, chemistry? Is he talking about it at all?
Yeah. I mean, he's enjoyed it tremendously being here so far. No question about that. The fact that you can make new friends here from guys. Okay, I've never seen these people before, but now I'm rooming with them, you know. Or all right, this group of guys.
He wasn't pointing to you, Randy. Yeah. Right now he's panicked a little bit. Right now, you have a roommate.
So yeah, you know, you live in a quad, and you have a general room, and now it's, you know, 4 different guys you're learning to get along with. So that part's there, and you'll make friends right here this summer that are going to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be with you forever. So that's a big part of it. Yep. So it's been very good.
Do you get a sense of the Mee legacy? I mean, you talk about all of the accomplishments you've just rolled out. Do you ever pause and say, holy cow, really coming from Warren and Ralph and Warren and Ekron, how it's kind of just rippled through?
Not really. You know, it's like, hey, you get here and you just get out and you play every day and you have fun doing it. I mean, It's like Tim Nobles that's here that had an unbelievable career, you know, coaching basketball at Pine Valley with state championships and sectional championships, etc. And he's going to say I left a legacy. Yeah. It's like, I enjoyed coaching. It was fun, you know, and there's no question he's done that, you know, and it's like, man, I'd have loved to have done that when I was coaching basketball at Hilton or coaching baseball at Hilton. And another part that was fun for us is like, okay, my dad played here and I played here. Corey played here. Ryan played here. He's on the 1997 sectional. We won a sectional championship. We came here and we played Orchard Park, and we beat them to go to the state semifinal. You know, and now Grady's playing here, so we've got like, you know, 4 generations of our family that have played on this field, which is kind of special. You know, I think kind of special. But again, is that a legacy or something? No, it's just something that we, you know, it's just kind of happened. So,
Yeah.
but to have our family here and get the support we have from our family, it's like Ryan was in California yesterday recruiting. He's the head basketball men's coach at Vassar College in Poughkeepsie for the men. Okay, so he's here, and our son-in-law Victor Abram, he's over here. He got to play this morning in the LPGA with Pro-Am with the women in Detroit. I forget what's the name of the course.
Yeah, Island Meadows.
The Island Meadows course that the women are going to be playing at this year. So, you know, it's not just here. It's kind of our whole family has been involved in sports for, you know, a long time. So, yeah, pretty special.
Well, by the way, I want to commend everybody. A lot of you have traveled great distances, made an incredible effort to get here tonight, and really to support the Mee family, but Grady as well. And we're certainly the Village of Falconer is thrilled to have used our annual event as an excuse to bring you all together and to learn more about.
I mean, it's like Corey's wife Susan played soccer at St. Bonaventure University. Okay, her twin sister played soccer at the University of Rochester. So I mean, Mercyhurst. I'm sorry, knock on wood. I can't get everything straight. You know, kind of in this ear and out this ear. But yeah, excellent athletes. You know, so that no question.
Yep. All the speed Grady has, it's from his mom. Yeah.
So this little guy that's sitting up in front here, Trotter, is Ryan's son, and a daughter back there, Capucine, and Ryan's wife, Tania's back there. And he enjoys being able to play soccer, play basketball, play baseball, whatever it is right now. So who knows where they'll end up. So
He did the newspaper toss today.
yeah. I mean, it's like Teresa being an excellent athlete and playing, you know, basketball again at the high school level, and all the girls from Greta's family, and Tim had an opportunity to coach them. So, yeah, it's been a great time.
Have you missed anybody?
I know, that's what I'm worried about.
I mean, you're a risk. You went down a slippery slope, Ory. Yeah. You know, you went down and started naming names all over the place there.
The guy back here, you know, with Rod Drake. It was fun to play with him. Right in front of him, there's a guy sitting with a gray shirt on. Okay, Bob Groh. His son is the baseball coach at RIT. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Phoebe's, you know, and Bob's son is the coach there, and
for
they're
30 years.
30, yeah, he's been there for 30 years now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of when we get together, we do talk a little bit of sports, you know.
Sport. Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but you know, something like
Are
that.
there other subjects?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's like we don't want to talk about wins and losses of the last game. Let's just go fishing today, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, out of curiosity, since it's all Falconer, Kennedy, kind of the Levant area, does Hugh Bedient play anywhere into the Mee family picture?
well, he did with. No. Well, maybe he did, and I don't remember right now.
I thought he coached you.
I've heard the name though.
Hugh.
He could have been doing that at the time. I know we played Legion at the, you know, the Faulkner Field, but I can't remember all the coaches we had there. Once Dad stopped coaching after the Little League, then we had different coaches for Legion, and you know, it's like there used to be the Grapefruit League and the County League for summer baseball. And the All-Star game used to be here, so we played here for that a couple different times.
Yeah, just for those that may not know, Hugh Bedient's our Faulkner's biggest claim to fame. He pitched the 1912 World Series, beat Christy Mathewson, was a world champion, and lived in Levant area. I played baseball with his grandson.
Did you?
Hugh Imus, and I
Great.
remember him just sort of standing there come to the league games. Just I knew a name. It didn't mean a hell of a lot. Now it does.
Yeah.
But
Right. Well, that's the same
Yeah.
thing with myself. You know, you go back and you read it, and it was nice to see the plaque that was put at Falconer Park last year.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know we took Grady over there to hit with Corey, and it's like, hey, come over and look at this plaque. You know, look, this is a gentleman that played here. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, no question about that.
Well, what are we missing here in the history? You've listened.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad.
What?
Got him out.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so 1 second before, our brother Alan that passed away, his wife and daughter are back here. Okay, they're in the back row. So hi, Kelly, Kathy. So
Alan was an awesome golfer.
yes,
They would try and get him to come and play with different teams and things like that. Vic would try and get him to come out there. It was like, you know, who was going? Alan's team was going to play with. It was like they'd draw the names out of a hat, and they'd draw Alan's name, and whoever got him would go, yes, that's it, Alan.
it's like Larry didn't play baseball because there was baseball and golf in the spring,
Yeah.
and he was on the golf team in the spring.
Yeah.
So another,
golfing.
you know, a little
Yeah.
tidbit out of the deal.
Yeah. We, Greta and I were always in sports in high school.
Yep.
Greta got busy with a family. I know when I got up to Rochester, I played softball in the women's softball industrial leagues, and probably later in the 80s, I think our team took the C level championship. So softball was great. You could still something you could do.
Yeah.
And
So it's like
Terry he was always in sports.
Yeah.
You two were just neck and neck playing sports all through high school, and then he went to Alfred, and he was there on a scholarship for football.
Yeah, he was all Western New York football player, tight end or split end, whatever it was at that point.
At the time,
So,
yeah.
it's kind of funny because it's like I started playing softball in 1972,
Yeah.
so still playing today.
God bless
Yes.
you.
Terry.
We started playing in 1972 and went to about 1976, wasn't it, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry's kids went to states on it was
Track.
on track
Yeah.
teams and won medals in states.
They were at Grove City and set a bunch of different school records at Grove City for college.
Heck, Dad, for the longest time, Dad was a pole vaulter at Falconer High School.
Wow.
He had the record up until, I don't know, for the longest
Lee
time.
Swanson broke it in
For pole vaulting.
1966.
Yeah.
His dad did it with a bamboo pole. In 1939, he won 11-4.
Wow.
Yeah,
Brad Rundle was the big runner then.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Brad ran a 4:28, I
Yeah.
think.
Wow.
So something like that.
Dad reffed football for the high school teams, and at that time, they didn't really have enough for football. They had 6-man teams.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember him. I remember the handkerchief with the stones in the corner. And when you threw the hanky for either whatever play or whatever it was, and it made it go because it had the stones in it.
Yeah.
And the whistle. We got to blow the whistle at home.
Yeah.
So
I will
But,
say that I refereed high school and college soccer for 30 years after
Yeah.
what Dad did.
yeah.
Man,
Little
do
things.
you have any time for anything but sports?
If you look at
Yes.
this lady, she's the one that developed all the athletes in our family.
Because he was doing other people's kids.
Because I was doing everything else. So Ryan and Corey and Eileen are athletes because of this young lady.
Yeah.
I worked on their minds.
Mine.
And they went to really good colleges.
Yes.
Well, I got to conclude on this.
Sure.
Where Susie even sent me a note and just simply gave me some biographical stuff on everybody and said, talking about all the males, Sue would say that. They were all handsome, square-jawed, stoic, with great smiles. That's how Sue wrapped you all up.
Oh, did you?
Wow.
Well, hopefully we didn't bore all these people too long, and
Yes.
they did get a chuckle out of it, but a little
Yeah.
bit of ours. And I look at some gentleman over there that does great pictures, that had an unbelievable athletic career also. So, it, like you said, it's pretty special, to come back and see Grady play here, after, my dad did and I did, Corey did, Ryan did, and now Grady. So
Lots of wonderful stories and memories for our family. It's precious.
So thank you. Appreciate it.
No, I thank you very much. Thank all the Mee family. And I do have one little gift to you, Ory, for suffering through this. This little background. This is a piece of jewelry art put together by my daughter. She represents Rebel Nell. She founded it. And what she did, as we know, we're wearing hats, most of us, that has Tarp Skunks. And we know that the story of the tarp skunks are skunks that hibernated in the tarps. And so she made jewelry out of the original tarp that came and...
really?
Yeah, and so I'm going to give you this. It's a, you can see, he's gonna be over here in his heartbeat. This is, see this right here?
Oh! Yeah.
And this is actually, this is a ball marker, and in the ball marker is the original tarp itself, and on the back is inscribed the logo of the Tarp Skunks, and it's got a description here. So this is for you for suffering through this with me.
Oh, man!
And as the rest of the Mee family try to work it out of you, good luck.
Well, thank you. Tell her that is amazing.
Wonderful.
It's really a unique piece of art, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you very much. Do not go away. We still playing?
We need cats.
Okay, so do not go away. You can go to the fence, watch it, but I don't want you to disperse because Grady will be out. Remember that you've been talking about the Steve Garvey so much?
Yes.
He hasn't done a darn thing for us yet, but he's going to take a picture. He wants a family picture. So we're putting him to the task. Do not leave until that happens, okay? You watch the end of the game. Thank you.